mild case of Tourette's, and so he was obsessed
Whoa.
with having how many T's he could get in a row, and he'd go, "Oh man, I got Tony Tucker to the 37th power," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He'd be like, "Tony Tucker took the times tables test Tuesday, then Thursday," and he would just have this big long T's in a row. Anyways, there it is. That's behind the scenes here at Warzone Sports Network. I am Tony Tucker, joined by Joe Morley, NFL Mike over there on TikTok. How far can you expand out Tony Tucker with followed by as many T's in a row, making a coherent sentence? That is the challenge today. We are also doing a mock draft, the first mock draft money that we're doing here. I believe it's going to be a little sporadic until we hit probably late July, and then it'll be every Monday until kickoff, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Joe, are we scrambling up this stuff at all?
Saquon is asking not to do it. What do you guys think? What's up, Willie?
I say we just leave it. It doesn't really matter. Saquon wanted number one. Saquon, if you take Saquon with the first overall pick, then we restart the draft. How's that, Saquon?
Saquon's temple. One of my most loyal followers. Do not draft Saquon. There you go.
Yes. Saquon Temple did the right thing and went Jonathan Taylor. This 2 drafts in a row for us were Jonathan Taylor went first overall. Who would you guys take if you had first overall pick? I know Joe's on the clock. He's got 43 seconds left. But who would you take?
I'm taking Taylor. I think that he's going to finish RB1 again this year. There is that little thing in the back of your head where running backs don't usually go RB1 back-to-back years, but it feels like last year Taylor was kind of just getting the full bite of what he can do, and this is his first year where the Colts know and Taylor know exactly what he can do, and they're going to build the offense around him still, I think, even with Matt Ryan there.
Yeah. Willie's talking about battle of the healthiest RBs, and I think the healthiest RBs are the ones that are going to have a little bit of timeshare with them. You're either young and you can take that beating, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, but I think if the Titans were smart, they would start mixing in a little bit more of who's ever going to be that RB2 with them, and definitely the Panthers. You can't be giving Christian McCaffrey 25 to 30 touches a week. Just as a community of football fans. Speak of the injury bug devil right there. Auto draft Christian McCaffrey at the 3rd overall spot, which to me it's still a little too high.
And he's still going top. He's still going top 5 if you guys look. And it's just why? I understand the potential that he could have, but I'm staying away because of the injuries. And then I always say that, but then I took Delvin Cook at number 2, and I've been iffy about him the last couple of years, but this year is my year of taking Cook because I like what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he's also in a good. I think he's going to be in a good spot, in a good system. To be used properly.
What happened, Mike?
I was just gonna. Never mind. My computer is lagging a lot today, and it wasn't showing that you already had scrolled the draft over.
I'd like to say this is the second mock draft in a row that Jay Bolton has been right in front of me, and he autoed the guy I wanted.
So Therapist is in on CMC.
Yeah, Therapist is still around. He's still on the CMC love train.
Joe, you might have said it and I missed it, but because I was drafting right after you. But who would you take at 1.1 in an actual league this year?
Probably. I don't know. I'm on the Cook train this year, so I like what the Vikings offense is going to do. I do like Jonathan Taylor. I do like him, but I don't know. I usually. You know me, Mike. I always go away from what normal people want. So if everybody wants Jonathan Taylor first, I'm going to not take him first. That's just the way it is.
Tony, getting yourself some Joe Mix. You like Mix right there at that part of the draft?
Yeah, I do. I would have preferred it if Najee Harris would have fallen one more spot, but it was between him and DeAndre Swift. Swift is still here.
Highest ceiling of any fantasy asset, Chase ceiling to me.
Chase ceiling. You talking about Kamara Chase's ceiling?
Well, a lot of people are down on Jamar Chase this year too, saying that he lived and died by a lot of big plays. But I don't think it's a bad thing. You live and die by a lot of big plays. That means might happen again, right?
I feel like a lot of receivers live and die by big plays that are in the top 10 in fantasy.
Shane, you're doing good.
There's a few guys
and Kelsey. I'll take that.
There's a few guys that are still possession. Like I feel like Devontae Adams is still gonna be a possession receiver. He's gonna get a lot of volume versus the big plays, but he also is a guy that makes a lot of big plays as well.
Tony took 2 running backs that have great volume, and DeAndre Swift. We always talk about potential being number 1.
Yeah, for me, the thing with Jamar Chase is like I don't know that a lot of the touchdowns that he scored last year are easily replicated, right? Like it was just a lot of crazy big plays. I still think that there'll be a lot of opportunity for that. I just don't know how often they're going to be cashed in. But I still think that if he's your pick at the end of round 1, I think you gotta feel pretty great about that. Joe Burrow clearly has an affinity.
Mike went into hiding. He got scared. He had to go into hiding.
No, I think somebody said something crazy about his
Waller. Hey, the Waller already went, and he was a second tight end gone, right? And,
yeah. Well, this is a Raiders fan, right? I'm assuming. Devontae Adams and Darren Waller, their first 2 picks? Or is he coming back around and snagging up Renfrow, I would assume?
You see the Raiders hub profile picture.
I think the other person that the other idea that I flirted with there was Stephon Diggs. Instead of getting DeAndre Swift in the second, I don't know. I have a hard time when I'm in this area of not either taking a big swing at QB or
Whoa, is this guy with the gold logo Chargers fan? Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, back-to-back picks?
I was waiting for you to say something, and I was like, let me see if I can even see if these guys say anything. And nobody say anything.
No, I was getting there. Your team looks amazing, Joe. It looks unstoppable. So far, it's my favorite team on the board. I feel like, to me, this feels a little high for where I would feel comfortable taking Keenan Allen, but it feels safe. It feels good.
Well, you know I don't like taking quarterbacks high either. So for me to take a quarterback in the 3rd round.
Well, you just selected the MVP for this year, so that was a great pick.
No, Derek Carr hasn't gone off the board yet. But you guys already know how I'm doing it. Like, for me to take a quarterback, I like to wait on quarterbacks. I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks, but it's mock draft season, guys. If you guys aren't changing your mock draft every time, say you guys join all these mock drafts and you're taking the same players every time, you're doing yourself a disservice because you need to change it up, take different players here and there, take players that you normally wouldn't take, and just see what happens with the draft board. Did you guys see that Dalton took Kamara in the 2nd round, maybe with the possible 6-game suspension? You guys think that's a good one? And Dalton's in the chat.
Dalton, let us know your reasoning here.
Always act wild in these Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense last year in what, like round 6 or Cleveland Browns?
Cleveland. It was Cleveland. How you guys doing though? Everybody good?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Good. I just want to say I'm glad to be back. You guys are bringing back the best part of the Warzone Sports Network, Mock Draft Mondays, guys. I'm so hyped to be back. Sorry, it looks like my mic gave out, but you guys can still hear me. Anyways, yeah, I take Kamara there with that pick. I don't know. I think before we get a Kamara verdict, we're going to get a Watson verdict. And have we gotten a Watson verdict yet? So that kind of says my answer. Let me fix this real quick.
I was about to say, Ghost Dalton. Okay, so Dalton's playing. He's rolling the dice here in this mock that Alvin Kamara doesn't get a suspension for punching someone out in a bar in Vegas during the Pro Bowl weekend.
We are. I believe next week's big news will be that that it's a year for Watson. He'll be gone all season.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Guy.
I wouldn't be shocked to see the indefinite, and then they're going to want him to appeal to maybe shorten it. We'll see. We will see.
Mike, this Jacoby guy must be from your TikTok, but I like him. Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow.
I wonder who the next pick is. It's going to be Derek Carr.
It's going to be Josh Jacobs.
Or Josh Jacobs. You guys see this right here, Johnny Talk Sports?
Oh,
Kyle Pitts
went on Josh Jacobs
before George Kittle. I'm thinking that Kyle Pitts is going to outscore Kittle this year.
There you go, Derek Carr.
What do you guys think?
Pitts is going to outscore Kittle. So you mean more fantasy points, or you mean more touchdowns?
More fantasy points. More fantasy.
Yeah, I can see that, especially in the dry-ass Falcons offense versus like the 49ers, Debo's staying, and they still have Ayuk, who I'm high on. So I could see that.
You can't just say Ayuk. You have to say Ayuk.
Ayuk!
I don't even. Do they even know that reference? Street Fighter, is that part of their?
I'm too young for that. That's the age gap between me and old man Morley up there, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, shit. If Joe is old, then quit talking bad stuff about me, Dalton.
Tucker really let me get George Kittle on the fourth round.
So here's the reason why I am out on George Kittle this year. Every year I seem to have a reason, whether it's injuries or whatever. It's Trey Lance. I don't know what the offense is going to look like with him. Like, is it going to be really a run-heavy offense with Lance carrying it 10 times a game and Elijah Mitchell carrying it 15 times and whatever, Trey Sermon carrying it 10 times and maybe 12 to 15 passes to Debo, Ayuk, and then Kittle gets a few in there? Like, I don't know. Kittle's a football player. I think he would be okay if he wasn't getting huge numbers as long as the team was winning.
Yeah, and Trey was a zone read stretch monster in college, and I'm sure that they see that tape that everyone else saw when he was coming out of college. This guy, he hits the edges. He hits the edges hard, and when you have a really good blocking tight end like Kittle, Shanahan's probably going to take advantage of that, and he's going to hit the edges. So Kittle's going to be doing a lot of run blocking. I don't know. I like Pitts this year just because I feel like we're going to see a lot of either Mariota or Ritter stepping back and throwing him jump balls, and he's already proven that he's going to succeed if he gets a bunch of those. He's going to come down with 3 out of 5 of those.
So Mike, it's interesting that you love Pitts so much because I love this guy named Justin Herbert, and in our dynasty league, I would like him to be my quarterback. So I have Pitts, and I have Trey Lance, and I have Javonte Williams.
Would you be willing to send me Pitts and Lance?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk offline.
Okay.
I don't like trading Justin Herbert, but I got to look at my team and see the balance. I think my tight end is Kittle, on that team.
I don't know who your tight end is in that one.
I have Kittle in one of my dynasty leagues. I think it's that one.
Kevin said send him a link next time, guys.
Oh, our bad, Kevin. We'll get you next time.
Because he's the guy that takes FloJo down.
Is FloJo in the draft?
I didn't see him.
What happened?
He would have definitely made fun of me for wearing a tank top right now.
Oh, I'm on the clock. Jeez.
Everybody takes FloJo down. Flag football, fantasy football.
Oh,
why is Rob Gronkowski still on the board? You guys know he's going to unretire, right?
Dalton, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you a petty person? Like, if you were Baker Mayfield, would you, even if Watson gets suspended for a year, would you still just be like, no, I'm not playing for you guys ever again? Even if there was going to be a clear spot to him playing this entire season, would you still just be like, F you guys, I don't want any part of this?
Yes and yes, 150%. I would do what Baker Mayfield did when he grabbed his fucking nuts on the sideline and he basically told him, because think about it, Tony. I mean, me and Jay talk about it all the time. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield guy. I'm a Joe Burrow guy too, LSU baby, but we'll get to that in a second. But at the end of the day, dude, they drafted Baker Mayfield to be their replacement. And yes, maybe he sucked, but he did a lot for the community. He did a lot like off the field. You don't just do a guy like that with no, in my opinion. You can say whatever you want. The NFL's a business. I get it. If a guy like Deshaun Watson comes up, but how about it now? The team that I was so high on last summer, the Cleveland Browns, coming back and getting bit in the booty where they deserve it for betraying their guy. So I think, yeah, Baker Mayfield should 100% be like, yeah, that sucks to be you. I'm sitting on the sideline.
The only issue, and the Browns kind of screwed him, he kind of screwed himself. Last year, Baker should have took a damn seat. He should have took a damn seat when his shoulder went out. But he tried to play through it, and now his trade value is zero. It's negative. You have to pay for someone to take him off the roster. And on top of it all, the Browns didn't help by screwing the league over and giving Deshaun Watson the most insane deal of all time, $230 million fully guaranteed, even if Deshaun doesn't see the money. Just that contract getting signed and put into Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, all these guys are going to be looking at that, and their agents are going to be looking at that like, we want that too. And that screws over the entire league's ownership and management when it comes to negotiating these deals. So no one wants to help the Browns out of this. The Browns need to pay someone to help them out of this. And they're just in a sticky situation. But the reports coming out of Seattle, not sounding like Drew Lock's impressing there in camp, huh?
What? That's not the Drew Lock I know.
I don't know what videos you're showing, because I sent you lots of videos from the Seattle PR team of showing how great Drew Lock is this offseason. I
don't think the PR team is having good conversation with the management, because I'm seeing a bunch of reports that Seattle is trying to find a quarterback.
Seattle PR team is better than Miami's PR team, I'll tell you that.
A buddy sent me that. He's a Broncos fan, so like me and him always used to fight about Drew Lock in Drew Lock's early days. Not to say I was right, but I was really right. But he sent me one of those videos of Drew Lock throwing a perfect pass in practice, and that's what I responded with. I said, yeah, Seattle's social media team isn't as bad as the Dolphins.
That Dolphins thing was like, basically try taking a picture of your girlfriend or your spouse, like a selfie, like up close from the wrong angle, and it makes her look like she's all like double chinned. Like you ever take a selfie of the woman? It's like the perfect angle. It's coming down. There's light glistening. There's a little solar flare. It's beautiful. That's every other social media. The Dolphins just went right up in the grill, under the chin, got blackheads involved in everything, just all no makeup, just a terrible shot. It's like, you should never put this on your social media. What's wrong with you? But they did.
They posted it.
And Tua was like, I don't care. Say what you want to say. I was like, well, why are you saying so much if you don't care, Tua? Is Kevin still in here? Kevin, what do you think about Tua's arm? Let us know in the chat.
Kevin got so passionate about Tua last year that I actually was like, you know what? Maybe I'm a little harsh. Maybe I'm,
I'm definitely harsh, but I'm definitely a little too harsh, Tony. I've admitted to that before, but I'm only harsh because of what the Dolphins fan base does. They compare Tua to Herbert and Burrow. It's not even a conversation. That's the problem I have. We can go ahead and say that Tua's still developing, and maybe he'll come out and he'll shine one day. That's okay. I agree with that. I think that maybe he can shine next year.
Speaking about still developing, what do you think about that, Dalton?
Tua sucks. I'm sorry.
Oh, my Lord.
Tua's
Go ahead,
ass. I might be biased, Mike, because I have the other Alabama redheaded stepchild quarterback, and nobody wants an Alabama QB because there's always, they don't pan out. Tua has a great arm, but I just think Tua's biggest enemy is himself. Do I want to see Tua succeed? Yeah. But do I think it's going to happen? I don't know why, but I had that gut feeling that I get whenever I look at him and he leads a locker room, and it's just like, yeah, everything. It's almost like Sam Bradford for me. it feels like it's always like, yeah, this is going to be the time that it works, and then it won't be. And I'll probably be wrong about it. I hope I'm wrong about it, but I can't get past that gut feeling.
You're never wrong about it.
I enjoy the Sam Bradford comparison. That makes a little bit more sense than comparing him to, elite players in the league right now.
He's not awful. He has potential. I think with at least this year is what I'll say. I think with a new coach, a new whole new wide receiver scheme, Tyreek Hill coming in the picture definitely helps, but it complicates things too. He's going to be getting into his head like, come on, man, get me the fucking ball. Like, Tua's like going to be like, oh shit, like I need to actually play. Like there's a higher level that's expected. And I think with a new coach and just all those moving pieces, I think that the Dolphins end up being a 8 to 10 win team, which I think that they have the potential on the roster to be an 11, 12 win team at best.
We'll see what happens to the Dolphins, man. It's going to be an interesting year for them. Either they're going to succeed and be playoff bound and Tua's going to be their franchise quarterback, or they're going to fail and someone else will be the quarterback next year, I think.
Do you think it was smart for them to get a tackle? What do you guys think of that? Like go all in on Terron Armstead, or do you think that was kind of short-sighted with Tua? Like
that is some of the props I do want to give the Dolphins. Like they have given Tua full opportunity to succeed this year. It seems like they're doing the opposite in Chicago for Fields. They're at least giving him a shot. Like he has a squad. There's no excuses. They're going to have a solid O-line. They're going to have a solid weapon core, one of the best weapon cores. They're going to have a good run game, and then off the play action, you got guys going deep up the sidelines. Their defense obviously is going to be good again. I mean, you can't ask for much more out of the Dolphins front office as far as supporting Tua. There's not going to be any excuses after this year. If it either happens or it doesn't.
Mike, I do wonder, though, like we assume the defense will be good again, but Brian Flores, like how much was he responsible for that, how well that defense performed? I think the offense is going to look really easy. It's going to be very simple, and they're going to get the ball to playmakers. And I think that the Dolphins will be a fine team, but when they go up against really well schemed defenses, I think they're going to struggle. Like, because they're not going to be able to just be doing dink and dunk type stuff and like quick screens to Tyreek Hill. They're going to find ways to cut that stuff off. And then that's when you're going to have an issue. Like, hey, you got to push the ball downfield to beat this team. And all of a sudden it's like, he can't do that? You're screwed.
Jacoby is on his way of taking an all-Raider team.
Yeah, no, he's committed to the bit, and I appreciate it. That is the most last place fantasy football team I've ever seen. Real life football, maybe they're okay. Fantasy
Mike had
football?
this idea, or it was either Mike or you last year, Tony, of where we do a fantasy league and you can only take players from your team and see how good it goes. Like you have to take your quarterback, your running back, everything, your defense, everything, and see how it turns out at the end of the year.
I would love to do a league like that. That would be a lot of fun.
To do a league like that too.
Well,
basically you could do a 32-man league, but it's all different teams.
I might steal that idea from you, Joe. I might steal that idea from you because
it's on tape now. It's on YouTube, so I can now take you to court and
some teams have viable fantasy options at quarterback, running back, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, tight end, and defense.
Exactly. The Raiders are right there. Jacoby is a legend. The Raiders team, everybody's loving it. Mac Jones would lead me to the promised land. There you go. Did you guys see that that kid that was on, was it YouTube Live or TikTok Live, that was opening up his football cards, and he pulled the Mac Jones card that went for $100,000?
She.
What?
Yep. $100,000 card on Mac Jones.
I wonder who the hell is buying that. Like, I collect cards, and I don't think that I would ever spend $100,000 on a card, let alone a rookie card. That feels like there's a couple Herbert cards that I think go for $75,000.
It was probably Dave Portnoy.
Probably. Give me 1 second.
Flushing his money down the drain on Patriots merchandise. Bill Belichick's going to retire eventually, Dave. And it's gonna go straight to the pre-Belichick era of the Patriots.
So Gamer Shane is saying that he's not liking his draft, but Gamer, this is what mock drafts are for. This is only our second mock draft of the season. This is where you make your mistakes. This is where you find out if you like it or not. Doesn't matter how it turns out at the end of the day because it's not real. This is where you get your practice, dude. So enjoy it. See what else goes on. Now you know who's falling where, what you like, and you'll get ready for next time. So don't let a mock draft discourage you.
Yeah, you can draft 5 QBs like I did.
Shane, you're probably having a rough draft because Tony Tucker right before you and after you is just slaying.
If this were my team, I could not tell you guys how happy I would be. I would. Holy shit!
Therapist is happy, Tony, because he said you're drafting great and you learned well.
Yes, it's all right there to the fantasy football daddy. That's your new name. The football therapist is the fantasy, aka the fantasy football daddy, right there.
I like it, Tony.
Yeah, Hopkins is my 4th wide receiver in a row. I was like, when I have those other 3, I won't even need him until week 7.
There we go, Tony. Right here. Is that what you wanted?
For what is wait? Why am I getting a one shot?
Tony Tucker, aka Fantasy Daddy.
There he is.
I'm not the fantasy daddy.
Oh,
The football therapist is the fantasy daddy. Look at Dalton celebrating for his guy, Dallas Goedert.
I'm happy with that. Jalen Hurts relies on him in the red zone.
Mac Hollins taken.
I considered taking a tight end in this spot, but yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man,
I guess you need one, but you got to steal a QB.
We're playing PPR. We're playing PPR, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the last draft, I took a lot of crap because I waited on quarterback for so long. So this time, the quarterbacks didn't go quite as fast as they did in the last draft we did.
I wouldn't draft Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I think I'm out on that one too. The person that I would draft from there is Olave or Jarvis Landry.
See, I have a feeling that we're all out on Michael Thomas, and then he's going to have that great year again. But I'm still not drafting him. Like, I'll let him have a great year on somebody else's team. That's just the way I feel.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever replicate what he was doing. I think he could be a playable week to week wide receiver too, though, for sure. If things go well and Jameis stays healthy, there's a lot of question marks in the Saints offense though, so it's kind of a wild card. And I like to play conservative and steer clear of all that stuff.
Mike, are you suggesting that there's a difference between Jameis Winston and Drew Brees?
Oh yeah, maybe just a little bit. That's all. Jameis Winston isn't going to be bad this year though, but I don't know. I think I'd rather have Tony Jones Jr. than Michael Thomas.
Ooh.
Jay, you're ruining the whole draft.
Jay did ruin the whole draft because he keeps logging in just to turn auto pick off and then leaves. It would just automatically go if you would just leave it on. Jay. Oh, they want to know my team. Here's my squad right now, guys. I'll tell you guys. I'll just verbally say it. Eckler, Breece Hall, Elijah Mitchell, Kareem Hunt are my running backs. CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Garrett Wilson are my wide receivers. And my tight end is Dawson Knox. No quarterback yet. No defense yet. Oh, I don't think we're drafting defenses. No quarterback yet.
Well, I kind of chuckled at the Gronk retirement. And it's like O.J. Howard has had a rough go. It's either been injuries or, bad quarterback play or whatever's going on. And then Gronk's retired. All he's got to do is fight for playing time with 36-year-old Cam Brate. And he's now in Buffalo behind Dawson Knox, who was kind of a breakout candidate last year for the Buffalo Bills. Which also, that kind of bothers me too. We have enough trouble finding tight ends to play. Why are the Bills picking up O.J. Howard and making that situation a little murky for us?
Zach Ertz off the board as you talk about tight ends.
How come no one's drafted Chase Claypool yet? He's going to be top 3.
I saw somebody say that. Oh, Chase Claypool meant he was a top wide receiver 3.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Top 3 wide receiver.
Top 3 wide receiver 3. Hey, Joe, would Chase Claypool start on the Raiders right now?
No.
Dalton, would Chase Claypool start on the Eagles right now?
No. Unfortunately, I would have to say narrowly over Quez Watkins, if I'm being a realist, right? I want to say Quez Watkins is better, but it would definitely Chase Claypool would be third string.
Tony, you think Chase Claypool is starting the Chargers right now?
I don't know. He wouldn't even make a roster.
Jalen Guyton season, baby. You saw he was cooking J.C. Jackson up, right, Joe?
I'm glad I'm not going to end up having the worst team. Well, somebody said that's how good the Chargers wide receiver crew is. I saw somebody on TikTok say Hunter Renfrow would be the 5th best wide receiver on the Chargers.
Some news just broke in the NBA. I know you don't care about the NBA, but here's the news that just broke. The Lakers sent an official offer for a sign and trade with Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook, and the Nets declined.
As they should.
Well, I think it's not straight up. I'm sure it's like a big package of people, but that was just like the main player.
If you want to keep Kevin Durant, you are not trying to pair him with Westbrook. That is not happening. I see what you're trying to do. Like, get me off my game like this.
Almost got you.
So he's saying the football therapist is saying that Chase Claypool wouldn't be able to beat out Nelson Aguilar on the Patriots.
Claypool's taking some shots. See, this is the thing: is when you start saying stuff like this, like remember they were giving him the nickname. They're like, he's Mapletron. He's the new like Megatron, but he's Canadian and whatever. When you believe in yourself, it's fine. But when you like start to say crazy stuff, then that's when people are like, all right, so we got to settle down a little bit. Because like, honestly, Chase Claypool, he's Mike Williams, but hasn't hit Mike Williams' stride yet. Like they're similar in that aspect. So it's like, he wouldn't even really fit on the Chargers roster. But is he better than Jalen Guyton? Probably. He's not better than Josh Palmer, though. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that we can go through and be like, would he start on the Chargers? No. Would he start on the 49ers? No. Would he start on Seattle? No. Right? That's just West Coast teams. Then you go to Arizona. Maybe he might start on Arizona. I doubt it. Go to the Raiders? No. So he's probably middle of the road, but he's not top 3. But yeah, he just opened himself up to a lot of stuff, and he's not there yet. Just wait until I like his thinking, because you always got to think that you're the best, right? And you want your guy to think that. But
the most ironic.
Don't say it out loud.
Yeah, the most ironic part of the whole entire thing is that if you watch the full episode of I Am Athlete, if you're a fan of I Am Athlete, like the guy over here, in that episode, he's talking about how I'm not a distraction. I would never be a distraction to my team. I would never, ever do anything that would cause any rifts in the locker room, because they were talking about his TikToks and all that kind of stuff. But Chase, you just said that you're better than Deontay. But you're not. But you just said that you're better than Deontay by like a mile by saying that you're a top 3 receiver.
Oh, Mike, you're so right. And that's the thing, is that to build your brand, you do have to say some stuff that's a little bit outlandish, right? Like you say some stuff that grabs headlines. That's why we look at players like that are really good and we go, they're kind of boring, or they're not really like Cooper Kupp's not really like a superstar wide receiver, because he's just like, I love my wife, I love my kids, Rams football, and God. And that's it. And you're not getting anything out of him. Like, he's even the guy who's like, oh, I'd take a pay cut. And all the other players are like, they're like, hey, Kupp, you need to shut up and get paid, because we're trying to raise the average. If Christian Kirk is taking all the money from Jacksonville, we need you to march into the Rams front office and say, hey, I want, $27 million a year to be paid on the level of Devontae and D-Hop and all that. Like, they're trying to get that number pushed up as high as they can. And when guys are going in and saying, you know what, I would rather not hamstring my team and do that, other players are like, knock it off, get in there. But that's what you do. I have no idea what Cooper Kupp's doing this offseason. I would assume he's spending time with his family and playing football. But I'm hearing quotes from Chase Claypool that he's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. And maybe he could be that. Maybe he could. He has a chance. He's got a job. He's young. He's got potential. But he's not right now. He wasn't last year. So why even say it?
Because when you bring in a great quarterback like Mitchell Trubisky, it erases your game.
And when you're talking to LaShawn McCoy himself, you're feeling a little risky yourself. You can go ahead and say whatever hot take you want. Shay's over there firing off hot takes left and right on that podcast.
Albert Murray Quinn said that Chase Claypool would start on the Bears. Just throwing it out there.
Yes.
That's correct.
Because Velus Jones is going to be starting on the Bears next year.
Therapist said that the 3 of us would be better than the receiving core that the Bears have. Therapist must have seen these hands. Oh! Could you imagine that? Big ass dude like me running down the field, just tearing them up. Bring on the Packers. With the 3 of us on the Bears, we'd probably win that division.
Well, I think he would. I don't think he would start on. I don't think he would start on Jacksonville either. I'd rather have Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones Jr.
Me and Marvin Jones.
The Lions. I'd rather have Jameson Williams and DJ Chark.
DJ Chark. And Amon-Ra St. Brown.
But he's more slot, right?
That's true.
Oh, there you go, Mike.
Mike. Anyone with the name Mike is better than Patrick Mahomes.
You know who's better than Patrick Mahomes, accuracy-wise? Tua.
Dak. Dak had a higher completion percentage than Mahomes, so just saying.
Tua.
I'm starting to come around on this guy right here.
Don't. There's no reason to, Tony.
I'm talking for fantasy purposes.
So he can get you 150-yard catch every 3
and
weeks.
5 drops.
He's going to be the next great wide receiver.
Okay, so here's the thing. If he's available in the 10th or 12th round of your draft, we don't know who's going to be the guy that's going to get 115 targets, but we all believe it's going to be Sky Moore or MVS.
Juju.
Right? But Juju's going to share more of the middle of the field. At least that's what the way we saw. Maybe not in Pittsburgh. Maybe now that he has a quarterback that can, rip it to the edge, that isn't coming off elbow surgery. He isn't 38 and falling apart. Maybe Juju plays outside more. I don't know.
MVS has been going at it, trying to have his breakout season in not loaded wide receiver rooms. I don't know if it's going to change all of a sudden, Tony. And the reasoning is that his route running and his drops hold him back. He can just run straight. That's about it.
Yeah, Tony.
So I saw there was a stat the other day where it was like the most big plays over the last 2 years, and the number 2 combination was MVS and Aaron Rodgers. It was like plays over 25 yards. I think it was like Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, and I forget the other combination, but it was like they were number 2 on the list. And I was like, oh yeah, you forget. And now I think Mahomes is more willing to gamble and take big shots than Aaron Rodgers was. So if MVS hamstrings hold up, he might be that guy that gets the more shots like Tyreek Hill. That's all I'm saying. Is I think in the 12th round, it's not a bad pick for fantasy football.
I mean, yeah, I hear you. It's similar with what I'm going with the Packers receivers. Like, just someone in the offense has to get it. I wouldn't mind getting Juju in fantasy this year, honestly. He's probably going to be a PPR guy. He's probably going to get 5-6 catches a game next year.
So that is it. That was the last pick of the draft. Let me see if I can get over there. Anyways, so Tua was the last pick of the draft. That actually went pretty damn quick, huh?
It did.
All right. Saquon was asking about his team.
Yes.
So
He probably took off, but
No, he's still here.
is he? Okay. Saquon's team. Let's see. I'm not going in order of the picks because I'm not doing that. I just have his team pulled up. Quarterback, A+, Josh Allen. Running back, Jonathan Taylor, A+. James Conner, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but wide receiver, Tyreek, Godwin when he comes back, going to be a beast. Gabe Davis, I think that can carry over. I really like Dalton Schultz. I don't know if I like him in the 5th round where he got him, but I like him to have a nice year. And then bench, I'm seeing James Robinson with some promise at some point. This is a good team. What do you guys think of this team? It's a good team.
I think it's a good team too, especially in the 1.1 spot. You can definitely hurt yourself not realizing you got to wait, 24 picks until your next pick after that turn. So I think it's a solid squad. You got a couple guys on the roster that could carry a little bit. Jason's here. Hello, Jason. You're gonna get that car. You're getting that car painted this year, buddy.
Yeah, I think when you have Saquon, this is a good team because you have two guys that can carry you to wins on any given week with Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor, and then I think you would get huge weeks out of Tyreek Hill, and when Godwin comes back, then you're really set. Tyler Lockett, to me, I know it's the 9th round and it's tempting. I just don't see the magic. I don't see the duplication of magic with Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett.
Ghost Joe.
I was trying to get the board back up because it was messing up. So,
no, it's all good.
Got all those pretty colors. I see the greens came up closer to the first 3 rounds this time than last draft. We saw a lot of purple, too much purple, and definitely too many QBs. That's what I mean. Purple QBs drafted last time, way too early.
Yeah, it seems like the QBs, because we had QBs go, like 3 of them go 2nd round in the first round. So, yeah, at least they went in the 3rd round where they're supposed to go. If you're going to take a top guy, if you like to do that. But, yeah, it looks like it's evening them out. And that's what we were talking about last time is as we get closer to the season, more people will rise and fall, and we'll start seeing it. And we're still, at the end of June, beginning of July. So still another month of some of these draft positions moving up and down. But it's good to see the same guys going around the top. Jonathan Taylor, of course. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with the top picks right here, guys, where we have Jonathan Taylor, Cook. I mean, we have our issues about McCaffrey, but he's still going to go somewhere there. And then the running backs and Henry and Eckler. So, my question is, if you guys had the top pick, we mentioned this earlier, where it's Jonathan Taylor, but would you have if you're playing fantasy football with somebody and somebody took Derrick Henry number 1 or Austin Eckler number 1, he's going to get a little bit of razzing and you're going to talk a little bit of mess. But would you really have an issue with him taking the guy that he wanted at number 1 when you consider all 5 of them around the same talent level?
No, you're saying if somebody took Derrick Henry at 1?
Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Cook, or McCaffrey.
I'd have a problem with somebody taking Eckler at 1. Yeah, I would think you're pretty crazy. Because you'd be hoping he would duplicate what he did last year, which is 20 touchdowns. I don't know that is something that happens 2 years in a row for a guy who's 5'10", 190 pounds. Because I honestly think that the Chargers are going more with hey, we need to keep this guy healthy into his 30s as opposed to we need to run this guy into the ground. I think that they love Eckler and they want to find ways. That's why they used a 4th round pick on a running back instead of, they could have went linebacker. They could have went edge rusher. They could have went other spots in the draft, but they said, no, we need a big time kid from the SEC to come in here and really push Eckler for carries in this offense. And I think that is why they drafted Spiller. And by the end of the year, you're going to see Eckler still getting 15 touches a game, but not the kind of production not the kind of usage he was having last year. How do you feel about that, Mike?
Yeah, I was kind of scared last year drafting Eckler, and I still pulled the trigger a few times in a few leagues. I didn't draft him in every single league because of that reason. I felt like the volume was going to be crazy. The Chargers have been trying to swing at a running back too for like 3 years in a row. They just keep taking swings and misses. So they're definitely putting some investment into that position for some reason. And when they find the guy, they're probably going to use him heavily. If Spiller's the guy, Eckler's volume is going to go down, and how much did his volume fuel? What was he, RB2 last year? I mean, that's really high.
He was top 3.
That's really high for a guy. I don't think he rushed for 1,000 last year.
No, he had 910 rushing yards, like 650 receiving yards, 70 catches, 20 touchdowns. It was
insane.
It was a great season.
Insane.
Like, is he going to duplicate that? I just don't see that happening, especially when they added a more capable tight end, right? Who's just younger and better. I don't care. Jared Cook and Gerald Everett at this point in their careers, they're just not the same player and will be used differently. And then you have the emergence of younger guys like Trey McKitty, Parham, understanding the offense more. So you have more of those targets. Those shallow targets can go to them, even if they bring in somebody just to pass block to give Eckler a little bit of little energy. So yeah, Joe, that's to answer your question. I think there's 5 guys you could take at number 1. Eckler would have been the only one I would have had a problem with.
I wouldn't take Eckler number 1, but a guy like Mike who loves Eckler, who loves the Chargers on the board. Mike's already willing to take Eckler at number 5 in the draft. Right? So if Mike is number 1 overall, and like fantasy football therapists say right here, round 1, you grab your guy. Don't agree with it, but you have a greater chance of losing than winning, so leave it all out there on draft day. So if Mike really loves Austin Eckler and that's his guy, and he wants him and he has the number 1 pick, he might as well take him. If Mike's willing to take him at 5, why isn't he willing to take him at 1?
Because I'd rather have Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, so I understand what the therapist, aka the fantasy daddy, is saying here, and this is really sound advice. If you're playing just because you want to be part of the conversation and have fun and you like it, yeah, you absolutely should grab your guy. If you're playing based on like, I want to win and I want the best chance for volume and statistics, I just don't think after probably weeks 4, 5, 6, you're going to start to see more competition in the Chargers backfield. And maybe I'm just too close to it. Maybe I'm spending too much time reading into Chargers beat writers' posts. I just don't know that Eckler will hold top 5 pick value at the end of the year.
I've been doing a lot of reading into Pittsburgh Steelers beat writers' posts, and Najee is moving up my list very, very, very quickly.
I need you to hush that a little bit because I like him falling to the end of round 1.
Yeah, I'm starting to really like Najee. And that is someone that I thought about taking at 5 over Derrick Henry, over Adams, over Jefferson, but not ready to pull the trigger yet. So I'm sure I will in mocks. And I don't want to show my cards this early in the fantasy season.
I do think he'll be a consensus top 3, top 4 by draft day.
It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes. But Mike Tomlin wasn't shy, and he knows about strategy. He knows about trying to fool people, and maybe he's lying about it. But he said, like, we view Najee as our best player. So on a team with TJ Watt on the squad.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more fun stuff. I think we're going to see a lot more read options with him.
That's true.
And using the mobility of either Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. Which is great news for a running back who's as big and as fast as Najee Harris, because that's going to get him some one-on-ones, and he's going to be able to run some people over and get extra yards.
Oh yeah, if the Steelers O-line can just be average next year, man, we're going to see some Derrick Henry-esque highlights, I think, out of Najee when he hits the second level and DBs are trying to tackle him. He took out ASJ with a flying knee to the side of the head last year.
Yeah, he has Najee as a top 3 running back right now. So top 3 running back and a top 3 wide receiver on the pick.
I agree. I agree with Tony. Let's shut this down. This conversation.
Yes, he is. Therapist, I agree. He's my number 3 right now. I would go Taylor, I would go Henry, and then I would go Najee Harris. But
you almost got him at 9 or 11.
Yeah, it was definitely really close there. Gamer Shane said his team is just an L. Which one is his team?
Gamer Shane drafted 12. So yeah, Najee Harris went 10th. Woo! Yeah, I would take that. If I'm drafting 10th, I'd be happy right there. So Johnny knows what he's doing.
Gamer Shane. So Gamer Shane, the thing that jumps out to me is because I actually really like Antonio Gibson in the 6th round. I think that's great value. The thing that jumps out to me is 2 wide receivers from the Bengals. Now, they're probably both startable, but if you already have Jamar Chase, like maybe there was a running back right there. Maybe there's like a David Montgomery that you could have taken. And then all of a sudden Gibson is like a flex running back instead. And then you come back in the 5th or 6th round and you'd go wide receiver. That would have made his running backs look stronger to me.
Yeah. And Shane, you just got to keep in mind, like, even though Jamar Chase and is it T. Higgins, the other guy got T. Higgins, both could be startable each week. T. Higgins is a wide receiver 2, Jamar is a wide receiver 1. They eat off each other's plates. So you can pick up someone like a Mike Williams. You could pick up someone if you trust whatever quarterbacks in Seattle, like a Tyler Lockett or someone like that, and you have a chance for these guys not to eat off each other's plates. You can get 2 W's in 1 week. I don't feel like you're going to have very many weeks where both Higgins and Chase go nuts. There will be some weeks. Not saying there isn't any, but when they both go nuts and they both pick up the yards and they both are scoring the touchdowns, they're competing against each other to score your fantasy points. So you want to have someone from a different team. You're not going to want to put the 2 guys out there, even if they're really good, unless you're in a league where you have to draft all Bengals.
Yeah, and
now be a thing.
You did take Tony Pollard from me because in mocks I don't normally draft handcuffs, but I was considering it. I will say this is one thing I liked about the strategy you did. When you take somebody like Jalen Hurts, who has a chance to have a huge opening to the season and get hype and all that stuff, like if he opens up the year really great, Shane, you also drafted Tom Brady, which is like that makes Hurts expendable to your team because you can move Brady in and you can trade Jalen Hurts and you can upgrade at another position wherever that might be. So you already have potentially the top scoring tight end, potentially the top scoring wide receiver, and maybe you can package Jalen Hurts and somebody else and you can get somebody's RB1, and then you have Leonard Fournette and then let's say like, I don't know, Nick Chubb or something like that. Like,
yeah, there's a team in the middle of the draft that didn't draft their quarterback until the last round. Just saying. 2 teams in the middle of the draft. It's my team.
Yeah, I waited last time. Who did they take? Who did they get at the end? Which teams are you talking about? Did they wait?
2 teams in the middle here. It was me and I can't read the name, but Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins in the last round. Oh, no, he got Lamar Jackson. My bad. It's just me.
He took Lamar Jackson earlier.
Jameis Winston in the last round was mine, so you can send me a trade offer.
But therapist might need some help later on with quarterback because he only took Russell Wilson late.
Was dangerous.
You don't know how Russell Wilson and then Denver Broncos are going to turn out.
I think the hype on him is going to go through the roof.
Russell Wilson did downgrade his weapons.
Like a wide receiver?
Yeah, wide receiver. I would rather have DK and Ty over Judy and Sutton right now.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, I would too. And I think the tight end situation last year was better even with Gerald Everett than it is with the
Albert O.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
It's
Albert O. I think Albert O's all right. I don't know. He's just not. Yeah, he's just another average tight end. He's not going to be a guy that's going to carry the weapon court by any means necessary. They would much rather have Noah Fant there.
And you got to hope that Russell Wilson actually is good in that offense, in the Nathaniel Hackett offense, right, Tony?
Yeah. It's so confusing what they're going to do there with the Denver offense. They have Javonte Williams, who's a bell cow, but also the shotgun style player in Russell Wilson. Oh, boy.
So I don't necessarily want to go over my team. I love it. I think it turned out fantastically. But I do want to say this. So I did not draft a tight end, and this is a strategy that I often go with. Is that like I'll take some haymakers, kind of rounds 13 through 17 or 18, however many rounds you are. But just like these are guys that didn't get drafted. You do have the Denver Alberto for Denver. He's worth a dart throw. You don't know how that's going to work out. Irv Smith is still on the board. Noah Fant is the tight end 1 who's going to be up for some amount of targets. Njoku's still there, depending on who the quarterback ends up being. Tyler Higbee, Big Bob Tunyon, Evan Ingram now in Jacksonville. Cameron Brate is still there, is worth like a dart throw without Rob Gronkowski. I'm just saying they're not the juiciest names ever, but like if you don't get one of the top 3 or 4, I'm a proponent of waiting. Just wait, and take multiple throws.
Let's talk about Big Bob Tunyon. Attended tight end university. Now Devontae Adams leaves. What's the chances that he becomes one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets in the offense?
I agree. I like that theory, actually. Like, I think that anybody that he trusts and has chemistry with has a real shot. Johnny Talk Sports took Alan Lazard right when he was the person I was going to draft on my board.
You know who really could piss everyone off? Randall Cobb.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, Tony, is you took DeAndre Hopkins, and we don't play in a league with Tommy Fan, right? We don't play in his league. So you could put DeAndre Hopkins on the IR, on the suspension list, and you could pick up a tight end for the first 6 weeks and have that roster spot, and you're not going to get beat up like Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
You know
yes,
what I mean?
You're right. Nobody's going to catch me on the left field and throw a right cross.
I'm not going to go up there and find Tony Tucker for messing up the IR rules.
That's not messing up the IR rule. That's just using the IR.
That's being smart about it. Yeah, you played
exactly
the way you were supposed to. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you'll be all right there, Tony. And like, if you don't get a top tight end, like you were saying, there's it's not worth going after another one the rest of the draft. I think because I did the same thing, Tony. I didn't take a tight end early, so my last pick was Hunter Henry, and just because I knew I needed a tight end, so I took Hunter Henry. But that's the only tight end I took on the board. After the first couple, three or four were gone, it's like, well, now I'm not going to draft a tight end until late.
Yeah, I played in a family league last year, and it was just a catastrophe. It was an awful league to play in. The owner of the league didn't set any rules, really, and the IR spot was kind of like unlimited. So I just started sending out trades for every injured star player in the league because my team was already locked into the playoffs at like week 8 or something. Everyone was losing, and I was the only one winning. So I picked up all these players. I picked up CMC. I picked up Adam Thielen. I picked up all these guys and put them all in my IR spot. And then right before the playoffs, he changed it to one person in the IR. And now all of a sudden, I got to cut a bunch of good players. Like, what the hell?
That is a trash move by that person who did that.
Yeah.
And I would demand my money back and whatever I won in the chance. Like, I would be like, I want a refund plus the total pot of whatever's going on there.
I'll never play in that league again. Ever again. Y'all can all go ahead and be family without me because I ain't playing in that damn league ever again. First of all, they didn't even tell us when the draft was. They just started it one night.
Joe, are you just loving this comment from Jason? Is that why you left this on the board? Because you're just so enamored by the thought of Derek Carr?
Raiders. Yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't even know it was on there.
Well, I didn't put it up there.
Jason, you can't double Waller and Renfro and Devontae, but you can play zone. Holy shit.
Bogart in the house.
Hey, the GMM network.
Give me money.
Give me money.
I want to get into this league, into a league this year. You can get into our war zone. Wow, I don't know.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do what the legend Jacoby does, where I'm actually gonna say, like, this is
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm saying if you're going to do it, he committed the whole time. He stayed the whole time, all the way through the draft. He made all these picks, all
Yeah.
Raiders.
Then
Now I don't want him. I don't want him in another one. Like I don't want him back in another mock draft. Don't get me wrong. But
Then he had the nerve, Tony. He had the nerve to come over to my little TikTok live chat and go, Mike, what do you think about my team?
Dolphins he was one pick away from having Josh Jacobs, and that would have completed his team.
If I saw this going down, if I saw this going down in a real draft, I would just draft a Raiders player just out of spite.
I
probably would have. After the Darren Waller thing, I probably would have bumped up. I would have bumped up Renfro just for the aggravation factor.
And like every round, like, all right, we're drafting Raiders players, huh?
Yeah, depending on the size of how much money I committed to the league, I would be like, all right, Hunter Renfro's on the block, and for everybody else, I'll trade him for, I don't know, give me a good compensation. DJ Moore, right? He's that. I'll trade him for DJ Moore. But to the Raiders fan, I want. That's the problem. Who are you? Who are you
don't do
trading
free
to?
leagues, Tony?
What happened?
This is why you don't do free leagues, because you'll get this. They'll mess around and then disappear halfway through the season. At least put $5 on a league. Like you at least have to put a little bit of money so you don't get people that just mess around.
Yeah, I played in one free league last year, and it was the best one I ever played in. People competed all the way to the end, and I was absolutely shocked.
Tony and the other guy. I like that. Who's the other guy?
Wasn't me.
I don't know who it is either, but who's the
Maybe
other guy?
talking about Scotty?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I owe Scotty everything this offseason. Every draft I'm in with Scotty, my focus is to screw Scotty. That belt should be right here on my desk right now, Scotty.
That belt was gloriously designed. Well done.
Yeah, whoever designed it and did a great job for Scotty.
Oh, he's talking about Jay. He said the dude that got locked out of his house.
We need to call this live.
Remember Jay was live and he was locked out of his house?
Yeah. It was just a chair. Oh, Jay Fly.
Oh, man.
Either way, I think mock draft number 2 was pretty good. I know everybody's asking it. Hey, we want mock draft Monday back. We love the three of you guys. Well, we love Tony and Joe, but not so much Mike. But we'll deal with them on mock draft Monday. That's what it's not my words, Mike. It's everybody else's words.
Hey, man, honesty's the best policy. Tell me how you really feel.
I think this worked out
You
good.
know how I really feel? I got Khalil Mack jersey down because
Looks nice to me. Looks nice to me. Looks a little surreal, honestly.
Big NFL news if you guys missed it. Adrian Peterson versus Le'Veon Bell, July 30th at the Crypto.com arena. Don't miss it. It's going to be the fight of the century.
I wonder who else is on that card. There's got to be a Logan.
That's the Jake Paul card, I think.
Is it? Yeah. There's no way that those two guys are selling out crypto. They couldn't sell out like a conference room and like at the convention center in LA.
I'm pretty sure it's Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, who is one of the Fury little brothers. I don't know which one he is. Third one,
I don't
fourth
know.
one?
Either way, my money's on Le'Veon.
Is he a social media person? Fury?
No, Fury's a boxer. He's Tyson Fury's younger brother, I think, or cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's undefeated. The kid he's fighting is like 6-0, but 6-0 in boxing isn't really that far along in your career, is it?
No, it's not. And it could be a lot of tomato cans. Like a lot of times they groom people to have really great records so that they can get them to, prize fights where it's like you got 19-0 versus 20-0. Like that's how you sell, boxing is undefeated people.
Or in this case, an undefeated boxer, 6-0 versus balding YouTuber, 4-0 or whatever he is.
Wait, who's balding?
Jake Paul is definitely balding. He's got the thing going on that all these kids got nowadays where the hair is covering up the forehead, but if he pulls that thing back, it's back here is where the hairline starts.
Ouch.
That's coming from a balding guy. Okay.
That's 4 hymns. Joe and I have no idea what to talk about.
I know you guys should send me your hairlines.
I got a masterful hairline, and the gray's not even setting in. I mean, you can if you get close enough, you can see it. It's getting pretty gray, but
well, myself
I'm gray all around. I'm gray all around. I'm old.
And our friend David is growing his hair out as well. Tony, we're gonna have Herbert hair. We're gonna be in February, rocking our Herbert hair at the Super Bowl, while Herbert's winning the Super Bowl.
I'll straighten my curls if that does.
Just for that day.
I'll get a flat iron out. And
are you guys having a Madden Super Bowl party, or what is that? Because that's the only way that Herbert's winning.
Goodness gracious. I can't. I don't want to sit here and talk to this Raiders fan about who's doing what, because he's not even making the playoffs this year.
Shout out to Jimmo.
Jimmo the icon.
Anyways, we should be ending this, right? Mock draft Monday, another successful mock draft. I probably drafted the best team again. 2 in a row. What can I say? I'm probably the best mock drafter, but when it comes to regular leagues, I'm not that great.
Tony, congrats. You won this mock draft. Too bad it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't. I would, if I had to pick one, football therapist is right there. When I looked over, Jeff, this is what you always do whenever you finish, and anybody else who's a part of this, go back and look and see the players that football therapist picks up on his bench. And Rashad White is somebody that I also agree with could have a nice role in Tampa Bay. Not the beginning of the year, but the end of the year.
I took the Cook brothers, Tony.
Took the Cook brothers. Joe, your team is automatically a winner in my book because you have Herbert and Keenan Allen on the same team.
And I'll trade you Eckler.
Yeah.
Eckler for Cook?
Well, if you can trade Cook for Cup, then I'll trade you Eckler for Cup.
Well, he's gonna trade you Cook, but you're getting James. You're getting little. you're getting Hymus Cook, and he's keeping Delvin and Austin.
I wonder how many trades we're going to see like that this year where people, I'm getting Cook, the running back Cook, and it's James Cook. No,
I hope somebody gets screwed that way. That's funny.
Not proud that I've used that before on Akeem Hunt and Kareem Hunt.
Whoa, that's dirty.
A little dirty.
Matt Barkley and Saquon Barkley.
It was a league with people I lived with, so I had to answer it with boxing gloves to the question. So I got to keep the player, but I got my ass beat.
Oh, I was just gonna say, all right, I get it.
I didn't win the fight, but I did win the trade. I'll say that.
And for everybody who's still sticking around, we appreciate you guys that stuck around for the whole episode. If you guys have read Mike's shirt, I asked Mike about if he knew who Rick James was, and he said no. So go ahead and leave comments of why Mike should learn about Rick James.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
I got Rick James' signature right here. My pop. So joke's on you.
And we're the Tony, Mike, and Joe, and we're all about unity.
Unity.
Wait, unity? I thought we were Mike and Joe. Wait. Unity.
UNITY, little Queen Latifah, Unity.
Are we just waiting for one of us to hit end broadcast?
Yeah,
I'm not hitting end broadcast.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Subscribe.